Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's tropical update in the Atlantic Basin. So, a tropical storm is likely to form in the Western Caribbean and Eastern Gulf of Mexico. But before we get into that, we're going to take a look at our other three systems. Looking at Tropical Storm Franklin as of 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, Thursday, August the 24th. Maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, minimum central pressure of 998 millibars, and northeasterly movement of 7 miles per hour on Tropical Storm Franklin. So Tropical Storm Franklin is quickly intensifying just east of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Looking at Invest 92L, we have a 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 48 hours and a 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 7 days. And looking at the remnants of Emily are likely to regenerate, as the remnants of Emily have a 70% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 48 hours to 7 days. But looking at our disturbance in the Western Caribbean and Eastern Gulf, it's going to cross over Central America from the Eastern Pacific and move into the Western Caribbean. As of 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, August 24th, 2023, a broad area of low pressure originating along the eastern Pacific coast of Central America is forecast to move into northwestern Caribbean Sea by this weekend. Some gradual development of the system is possible thereafter into early next week, and a tropical depression could form while it moves slowly northward, entering the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Formation chance through 48 hours is low at 10%, and formation chance through 7 days is medium at 50%. So taking a look at these models here, looking at the 6Z run of the GFS. Now the GFS does not really show much in the Western Caribbean or Gulf, although the GFS rapidly intensifies Franklin into a strong, even major hurricane near Bermuda by Tuesday, although all the GFS is picking up is a surge of moisture around the Cayman Islands and Cuba by Monday. GFS is not really picking up any tropical development, but GFS is picking up on that influx of moisture moving into South Florida and the Bahamas as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, bringing an influx of heavy rain and possibly some flooding issues. And meanwhile, Franklin, as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, could pose a big threat to areas of Atlantic Canada, such as Newfoundland. Looking at the European model shows a different story with this Caribbean and Gulf system. So the European model rapidly intensifies Franklin to a hurricane by Sunday, and then potentially a major hurricane by Monday, and then the European starts to spin up a tropical depression between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba by Monday, and then as we go into Tuesday, we see a tropical storm just to the west of the Florida Keys, and then we could see a landfalling weak hurricane sometime between Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, somewhere in Florida. And then we could see this tropical storm or hurricane skirt the Carolina coast as we go into Wednesday and Thursday of next week, as a cold front picks up both this system and Franklin. And once again, the Euro has Franklin plowing into Newfoundland as it gets ejected by the low pressure moving across northeastern Canada. And then looking at the Canadian model also shows Franklin rapidly intensifying through Sunday, Monday, and then the Canadian also spins up a tropical depression around Cuba by Sunday, and then the Canadian shows a tropical storm landfall very close to where Ian made landfall last year around Fort Myers and Naples by Monday. And the Canadian shows Franklin as a major hurricane approaching Bermuda by Wednesday as well. And then we see Franklin get picked up and smash into Newfoundland. So Newfoundland, you need to be really paying attention to Franklin, as all three models are showing Hurricane Franklin impacting sometime between Wednesday and Thursday of next week. and keep a very close eye if you live anywhere, I would say from New Orleans through Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and the Carolinas, Cuba, and the Yucatan Peninsula for a potential tropical storm between, I would say, Monday and Wednesday of next week. Now, I'm going to be showing you why I'm kind of worried about this potential Gulf system. So looking at the sea surface temperatures right now, sea surface temperatures are between 30 and 32 degrees Celsius, 86 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, about 6 to 10 degrees above what is needed for a tropical cyclone development. So if we get a system to spin up in the Western Caribbean, Eastern Gulf, we have the potential to see explosive intensification due to these extremely warm sea surface temperatures that are present across the Caribbean and especially off of Florida. We are looking at literal bathwater off of Florida. So any tropical cyclone that can get going is going to explosively intensify if we have the right conditions for lack of wind shear and moisture in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So taking a look at our wind shear map, we do have a little bit of wind shear in the Western Gulf, but right now there is no wind shear in the Eastern Gulf of Mexico. So if that holds and we can get a tropical cyclone to move into this area, I am very concerned about rapid intensification right before landfall, kind of similar to what Ian did last year. And then looking at the moisture map, looking at the GFS, there's going to be a moist pocket moving into the Gulf of Mexico as we go into Friday, and this is going to last through Monday. You see a bunch of moisture in the Caribbean and Gulf, even in the GFS model, which doesn't pick up on development, and this is going to aid in the potential for a tropical storm to not only get going, but to rapidly intensify in the Gulf of Mexico between Monday and Wednesday of next week. So I'm going to really be monitoring this system closely over the next several days, as conditions are right for a tropical storm and potential rapid intensification. Thanks for watching today's tropical update. Please stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.